out there on the floor, just in terms of the execution on that end, the togetherness on that end?
Yeah, it's a priority going into every game. We're executing at a high level. I always say that's where we hang our hat. That's where we kind of have separated ourselves this year from last year. Defensively, we bring it every night, and we've done so these last 3 games.
And, offensively, they're obviously trying to take certain things away. And it seems like you just are taking what's given. Josh and Lou go for 8 threes this afternoon. Tell me about that process, your internal process as a team on that.
Yeah, we have a lot of guys that work on their craft. I think you guys have seen that. We've kind of seen so much throughout the season that seeing different defenses now, it's kind of like we're used to it. We've seen Josh get cross-matched. We've seen blitzing. We've seen switching. We've seen so many defenses. We've seen teams go big, teams go small. So it's kind of been a blessing for us to kind of see them all throughout the season, and then now we're ready for the playoffs when teams switch it up.
Yes, Shai, through 3 games now, points in the paint for you guys hasn't been where it normally is, especially for a guy like you. These last 2 games where they're still low, but guys are hitting shots. Just talk about how that's helped you along the way in these last 2 games to get to your spots when they're just hitting the shots the way they are.
Yeah. Like I said, guys, we have a bunch of guys that work on their craft, ready for the moment, ready for the opportunities and the shots when they come to them. And then the better my teammates play, the easier it is for me, and vice versa. And we know that. We've seen that all year. We just got to continue to do so, continue to play at a high level defensively. Offensively, we didn't play as well as we could have. We'll look at that and fix it, try to be better for next game.
And then seemed like tonight that Pels was trying to punch you guys, and every time you guys took those punches and increased the lead.
Yeah.
I'm just what do you think about you guys' poise in those moments?
Yeah, basketball is a game of runs. We know that. We've seen that all year. We always say it's a 48-minute game to just worry about stacking possessions, and we did so. Because of it, we have won the last 3 games.
Then what do you think about the Thunder fans here tonight? Some OKC chants, let's go Thunder, some MVP chants for yourself?
Yeah, they were amazing. Towards the end, it felt a little bit like a home game. The fans were good. They traveled. We loved them. Giving us that support. We appreciate it. It gives us energy. They've been big in our past 3 games.
Shai, this has been a great defensive team the entire season, top of the league. But there was a period during this game where everybody was playing with a intensity level like Lou. Where do you think? I guess I'm trying to ask, like, how do you think his leadership on the defensive end has resonated with the rest of the team?
Yeah, he anchors us. His physicality, his effort. It's almost impossible to watch a guy like that give that energy and that effort and then just not carry it out yourself. He's done amazing things, not only in this series, but for our organization and our group the past couple years. He continues to do so. He continues to be himself. We've seen growth for him and for the whole unit because of it.
Shai, whenever J-Dub went out early in the game and Kaysen had to come in earlier and play for a longer spurt earlier, what does it mean for you guys as a team that you can count on really anyone on the floor and kind of that trust you guys can play with?
Yeah, next man up mentality. We have a lot of guys that can play a lot of positions, guys that play free, play aggressive, and that's kind of our style of basketball. And it's for moments like that. Everyone's confident in every position, and anyone could play if need be.
And there's been a lot of talk, obviously, about the inexperience of this team, but one way that you did have experience is last year's play-in game in this building. Did that prepare you at all for what tonight might have been like in Game 3?
Absolutely. Every experience you live through and you learn, and that's what we did through that experience. In all 82 games this season, we learn from every experience, and we try to get better from it and get ready for this moment.
Michael Martin, Let's Talk Thunder. Shai, you've played with Lou for a number of years now. Just how cool is it to see sort of his growth in his game as like an all-NBA level defender and like a 40% three-point shooter after, Game 7 in the bubble? It was just sort of they left him open.
Yeah. It's been amazing. He's another guy, works super hard. I'm not surprised by that at all. He's confident because of it. He just plugs away. and that's what makes him him on both ends of the floor. He's realistic with himself. He tries. He gives energy and effort, and because of it, we've seen growth from him. But yeah, hats off to Lou and all that.
Shai, when you take a step back at this game, the shot making stretch for J-Dub, like the end of the third, was probably the point where you guys start pulling away. Just to hit those level of shots at this level, I just wonder, as a guy who's worked out with him, you guys seem to mirror each other at times. What is it like for you to see him kind of take up his shot making at this stage?
Yeah, it's very impressive. Dub's very talented. As big and maybe surprising those were, I'm not surprised. He's in the gym constantly. He's confident. And as a group, we give him that confidence to make shots, take shots, the big ones, the little ones. Yeah, he was clearly big tonight and very impressive, and nothing I'm not used to.
Thank you, Shai.
Nick Gallo, OKC Thunder. Jalen, the defense, again, this afternoon, just really stifling. What's happening on that end of the floor in terms of you all being connected and in your spots?
I think exactly that. I think we are a connected team right now. We're not having a lot of, mental lapses. I think the biggest thing for us was, obviously being new to the playoffs as a team was just, trying to eliminate a lot of the fixable mistakes that we have. So, kind of control the controllables, be in the right spot, kind of do what our game plan is and just stick with that and, just compete as hard as we can. And, whatever happens after that, we can adjust. But a lot of the stuff that we want to do and get accomplished, you don't want to ever shoot yourself in the foot, and I think we're doing a good job of that.
You guys have really, one of your top things all year has just been adaptability, being able to absorb circumstances. You go out in the first quarter, and not only do you come back and are right in rhythm as soon as you come back after missing almost the first quarter, but Kaysen steps in, rookie, and he's able to just hold down the fort there. What did you make of that whole dynamic and the fact that you guys are able to do that type of thing?
Well, yeah, Queso's special. Everybody's kind of seen it now because we're on the national scene, but that's something that we've known since training camp and since we got him here in the organization, so that's not really a shock to me or anybody in the team, but it just kind of shows our mentality, next man up. I have supreme confidence whoever, Mark puts in while I'm not, while I was hurt, would do the right thing and make the right plays. Queso stepped up big, and he was good all night. You have other guys coming off the bench that play well, Wiggs. Everybody's just kind of ready to play and be the next man up, so that doesn't shock me. But, it's kind of just been our mentality all year.
All year long, you guys have also leaned on, the 0-0 mindset. How much was that tested after the success at home? And then what did you see kind of getting through that in Game 3?
I think our biggest thing for us as a team is that, everybody's kind of with you when you're up, and that's kind of the biggest thing. When you have success, it's easy to kind of take your foot off the gas and not really pay attention to those details that I stated earlier. So I think that 0-0 mindset is something that we kind of lean on. The last two games, even this game now, doesn't matter, and so we're just kind of trying to take that approach. And every time we play, it's a totally new game, a totally new team that we're playing. And I said our last press conference, we're trying to put ourselves in their shoes and kind of go from there and understand our opponent. And we've done a really good job of that.
Jalen, obviously people know what a 3-0 lead means in a series. I just wonder what the conversations you guys are having just about, at this point, what it means and from here on out, what you have to do.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. I sound like a robot, but just that 0-0 mindset that we have going on. Every game in the playoffs is completely different. For us, the next game that we come back, even now, the game's over with, it's done. So I think now coming out, it'll just be, try and go 1-0. You know what I mean? Just try and win the next game. We're not really focused on what else has happened during this series or kind of what's going on in the rest of the NBA. We'll enjoy this for the next hour or two, and then after that, it's kind of back to work and kind of see where we can get better from this game.
Yeah, and you've talked about your fandom growing up, just of different guys. Russ, one of them, just for you in year two to be at this point, taking your shot, making up a level in the playoffs. What does this all mean to you?
it's a little comforting, I think, just because I work hard in the off season to try and fix my game and cover some of my flaws that I have and just get better. So when you can get to this stage and kind of have a little bit of success, it's special. It's not there's still stuff that I don't like that I do in the game, and I have a lot of improvement that I can make, but I think for any player, when you do shots that you work on every day, it feels good. And, it's just something that I try and carry with. But, it's basketball, I'm going to miss shots and I'm going to make mistakes. But it always does feel good. It gives you a little bit of confidence when you can do stuff that you worked on.
Jalen, this crowd is, the Thunder fan base is kind of more like a college fan base than anything else. And just more specifically, what does it mean for you guys as a team to see the fan base kind of lean into the identities of this team, specifically like the barking and leaning into what you guys have made sort of a trend?
The barking's insane, I'm not going to lie. So that's been really, really special. I think there's been a lot of comparison with us and that 2012 team. So the fact that we can kind of have, a different vibe from that team who was really special is really cool. Yeah, but it's been a really cool interaction with the fan base ever since I've been here. Literally the day after I got drafted and I was here, it's been a really cool connection, and it's something we don't take for granted. And we talk about in the locker room all the time. It's really special that they kind of cling on to us and do the barking, and we always try and pay that forward as much as we can.
Have you felt yourself get more comfortable as the series has progressed, or has it been pretty consistent throughout?
I feel like the playoffs is always a little, I would say more unsettled, just because every game is so different. But I would say my confidence hasn't dropped. I've gotten more and more confident in my ability, and I can come after a bad game or a good game. But yeah, I would say every game is so different and unique. It's kind of hard to get comfortable, but I think my confidence has stayed pretty even kill.
Michael Martin, Let's Talk Thunder. Dub, when we first saw you in training camp this year, it was very obvious how much muscle you'd put on. Some of the swole comments, some random drug test jokes between you guys, but
No,
how much?
Weren't jokes. I was getting drug tested.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How much has that helped over the course of the season? Just adding that extra muscle and the physicality of the postseason.
I think it's really coming to light now. I'm able to be in and plug into that small unit, and not really give up a lot of stuff in that department. But the playoffs are physical. You go from my first call, whether it was a foul or not, but then there's fouls that we get away with too, and that's just kind of the playoffs. So I think that's kind of coming to light now, and something that I'm happy that I was able to kind of do in the summer, regardless of how many drug tests I got. So like I said, it's one of those things where you work so hard in the off season, and then it kind of comes to light now is pretty cool.
In the middle here, could you just describe? And you mentioned the first possession. What exactly happened to you? What did it feel like? What were you thinking about when you were down on the floor? And then the progression, just mentally and physically, of getting back into the game, and then really thriving during that kind of back-breaking run at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah. I think I drove kind of down the middle, and I got hit in the face on a contest. He was pretty vertical, so it was kind of just a unlucky play, I guess. But yeah, I kind of got hit in my eye, with his palm of his hand. So it definitely wasn't as bad as what happened to me my first ever game, last year. So that was nice. But yeah, credit to the training staff and kind of the team docs and stuff back there. Kind of able to get my eye looked at pretty quick and kind of find solutions for that. And then I think I stayed back there for a couple minutes, just kind of watch how the game was going and try and figure out kind of ways to plug back in. But I think the team did a really good job of kind of settling in, even though I wasn't in the game, and that kind of speaks to our readiness. And then I don't ever try and come in and force anything, and I kind of just try and play within the team and see what the defense is giving me. And I was able to hit a couple tough ones when I first came in, and I think that kind of gave us confidence. But our defense has been really good. I think that's kind of where we're drawing a lot of our energy from, and we're kind of able to make runs and hit shots.
Yeah, Doug. Tonight, Pels really tried to punch you guys, and every single time you guys took those punches on the chin and increased your lead. What's it like in those moments on the court or on the bench? Is there a specific guy that tries to settle things down, or are you guys leaning on Mark because he stays even kill for the whole game?
It's a push and pull, relationship. Sometimes we lean on. There's certain situations where, it is kind of Mark, we look for him to kind of get us into something. Other times, he kind of trusts us to kind of figure out the runs on our own. He's been doing that all year. That was something that he said earlier, before the playoffs have started. We've been in so many different situations, and he's kind of let us play through runs during the season that, he trusts us to kind of figure out, ourselves during those runs and kind of see who we're made of, in those particular moments. And, we've been doing a good job of coming together when the game's not going our way and not making excuses for, certain things. And I think we've done a really good job of that. But it's a push and pull. Sometimes you need the head coach to kind of take lead, and he's been doing a really good job of that all year and, kind of putting us in sets where we can be successful.
At times, and at those times, I know the last 2 years you guys have talked about how anybody can be a leader and everybody's been a leader on this team. How much has that helped you guys' growth that he lets you guys lead in those moments?
Yeah. For us, a leader is just a person doing the right thing. And that's something we kind of lean on. We can hold each other accountable. And I think when that comes from, Mark all the way down, we can hold him accountable for certain things. And I think when there's that trust within the players and the coaches, I think it makes it easy to kind of play for us and play for him.
Thanks, Jalen.
Oh, yeah, okay. There you go.
Just want to ask you about the comfort you guys seem to have offensively tonight, just figuring out the next right play and getting so many good looks. I think you and Lou, 8 combined threes made, just playing off of each other.
Yeah, we got a versatile group, and they threw a lot of different looks at us. They started cross-matching, they started blitzing on balls and doing different things, and I thought we adjusted really well, through the flow of the game, and, we got good looks. I thought we shot the ball pretty well tonight, 47% from three. It's a tough team to play against, and as I said, they threw a lot of different looks at us, but we've got a lot of weapons on the floor at all times, so guys made the right play, the extra pass. We got a lot of good looks, and you double down on them, and you win games like you do tonight.
You lose one of your key players in the first quarter of this game. Casey comes in. It's one of those unexpected things that happens in a playoff game. How much do you like just the way that it seems like business as usual and being able to just play?
Yeah, that's a sign of a really good team. When one of your main guys goes down and you bring in Kaysen, and it feels the same. He plays a role. No one tries to, be all the guys. Guys come in, do their thing, and we've got a really, deep squad. You look all down the bench, and everyone that touches the floor has an impact. So, it's kind of that next man up mentality. He went down, in the first 15 seconds of the game, and Kaysen came right in and looked right at home. So, obviously you never want to see anyone go down, but I think it's a real luxury to have guys who can come in off the bench straight away and have a real impact, from the jump.
What's your perspective on, after how close the first game was, winning the next 2 games by more than 20 points?
The first game, for a lot of us, I don't want to use a, inexperienced excuse, but none of us had really been in that environment before, so I think that might have had something to do with it, but, credit to them. They're a tough team. They're a talented team, and I thought that first game, we were rusty. We didn't shoot the ball particularly well. Our offense was a bit stagnant, and we spoke about those things, after the game, but we made adjustments going into game 2. We made adjustments going into tonight, and we were able to, execute those, pretty well in the way we wanted to. And but as I said, they're a good team. They're going to come back. They're probably going to go back to the drawing board tomorrow, make changes, make adjustments going into game 4. So, we'll be ready for it. We'll do the same thing, but you can't take your foot off the gas no matter what the lead is in the series.
Yeah, Josh, through 3 games, points in the paint hasn't been what you guys normally get, but offense for these last 2 games has gotten going. What do you think about the way that you guys are still able to get your offense going when they try and take your bread and butter?
Yeah, we drive the ball a lot. It's not really a secret. Everyone, does a scout and knows how we play the game. I think in game 1 they took that away and we got stagnant with the ball. There's a lot of one-on-one, no possession, no pass possessions, which kind of falls right into their hands. So I think once we started moving the ball, getting off it, we started getting great looks, and that's when the lanes start to open up a bit more. And they're a really good defensive team. They don't have elite rim protectors, but their wings are really good defenders. They shrink the floor, make it tough to play in, make you play in a crowd. So just once you start moving the ball and getting their defenders moving around, those things become easy. But you give credit to the Pels that they've had a great defensive game plan, and I think we've found ways to extract it and get different things out of it.
And what do you think about the Thunder fans here tonight, the OKC chants and let's go Thunder?
I mean, it was great. Anytime you have fans on the road is great. But for a playoff game like tonight, it was just awesome to see so many of them, and they're all pretty close together, which made things even better right behind the bench. So just to have the fans travel, with us, fans that come from wherever they do, means the world to us, and we look forward to getting back in front of our home fans and playing in front of them.
Josh, obviously you saw this during the season too, but when the other team puts their center on you, how does that change your approach offensively?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's different, and as teams are throwing different looks at us all year. And as I said earlier, I used to hate it. I used to probably look at it in the wrong way, but now trying to look at it more as a positive thing, finding ways to get teams out of it, finding ways to exploit it, and whether that's me being a screener, spacing, whatever it is, just trying to make life easy for the other guys that are out on the floor. And I think tonight, once they tried to do Valanciunas for a few minutes, but it's just hard. Once we start getting up and down, it's hard for them to get matched, and they're going to find themselves getting cross-matched either way. So you just make an emphasis of running bigs if they're going to guard me, making them change ends of the floor quickly, putting them in action, not just standing in one spot so they can be stagnant. So I've found different ways to attack it over the course of the year as I've seen more of it, but I think it's more of a credit to the team we have and the weapons we've got. Teams are throwing their best looks and looks they probably haven't practiced a lot at us, and we're finding ways to get around it and get teams to throw their best shot at us.
Was that how you guys were able to kind of play Valanciunas off the floor there? I don't think you played at all in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it's he's obviously a talented player, but there's just certain teams and certain matchups that are better for them, for us, and it's a tough job for a big like that to guard Chet, who's a pick and pop guy that can space the floor, put it on the deck, and they went to Nance a lot in that second half. They went small and put other guys on him, so they're going to throw different things at us, try different things, and we'll make our adjustments, they'll make theirs, and it's kind of like a chess game in the playoff series where each team goes back and forth and doing different things. And, they kept him off the floor in the second half. And, we were still able to, I think, handle business the right way. But that's not to say they'll try something different, on Monday night.
And Josh, this team has always been a good defensive team, throughout the entire year. But there was a period in the game where, everyone was playing with the force that Lou plays with. Can you kind of just talk about how his defensive strategies kind of resonate with the rest of the team?
I mean, it's contagious. When you see a guy like that, fighting through screens, contesting shots, doing things like that, other guys want to do it as well. And he sets the tone on that end of the floor. He gets the toss with the main guy assignment every night, and he does it to perfection. It's not every night. It's not going to be perfect. Some guys are going to put 40 points on you. That's just the nature of the NBA and there's talented players. But he makes life hard for guys. He makes guys and take tough shots. And when you see a guy like that doing that, it kind of rallies everybody along to want to be locked in on that end of the floor. And when we start getting stops, get out and run, we look great as a team. And but a lot of the defensive stuff stems from Lou.
Last one for Josh. Go ahead.
Michael Moore, Let's Talk Thunder. Josh, you guys are up 3-0. How do you sort of you hear playoff veterans and coaches talk about closeout games are the hardest ones to go through. So going into game 4, hostile environment on the road, what do you think it's going to take for you guys to come out?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing. Neither team looks at this series as over. They're obviously, as I said, they're going to make changes. They're going to do everything they can to win the game, and so are we. And I think it's just important to not take your foot off the gas, not think the series is over, because it really isn't. Both teams are going to try to change things up and do different things, but we've got to come in with the right mindset on Monday and try to put the series to bed.
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, guys.
Seemed like a very focused approach from you all this afternoon. What did you notice from your team in the first quarter when they tried to kind of lay some punches on you and the way you took them?
Yeah, I thought New Orleans was ready to play, and I thought we were ready to play. I thought our physicality again, our defense, focus on that end of the floor was really, really good. Made them earn everything. And I thought that set the tone for the game. It got us out on the break. It made the offensive end a little bit easier on some possessions because they're obviously really good defensively as well.
On offense, you get 8 combined threes from Josh and Lou, and wanted to ask you about the way that your guys just made the next right play and got the ball out and the way guys were able to convert off of that.
Yeah, I mean, with the way we get played, we have to spray the ball to the perimeter, and I thought we did that on a lot of possessions. Some of those were in transition as well. They put Nance on Josh on a lot of possessions, and that gave him very clean looks from 3. But I thought we made really, really good plays tonight for the most part. Getting the ball to the perimeter, have to continue to look at ways to attack them.
Mark, I just wonder what you've seen from Chet and the way he maybe embraces those face-to-face encounters at the rim and how he's grown in that facet this year.
Yeah, I don't know what his line was tonight. It wasn't like gaudy by any stretch, but it's like 6 points, 8 rebounds, 2 for 8. And it's like I thought he dominated, his minutes. He was outstanding, especially at the rim. And it's going to be different guys on different nights. Obviously, Josh had a night, Lou had a night, Dub had a night. But, he was a difference maker in the game. Did an incredible job.
And I just wonder how far you've seen Lou come in terms of being able to produce a stretch like that in the second quarter where he just puts together like a back-breaking stretch of shot making.
Lou? Yeah, I thought he took good ones for the most part all night, as he has all year. We did a good job of finding him. Josh made a great pass to him in transition for that, the one that led to the timeout. And then, as good as he was with the shooting, what he's done defensively in this series has been outstanding. We need more of it, obviously, in the next game. But, he was really, really good on that end again.
Yeah, he's not the tallest guy, not the most athletic guy, but what is it about him that makes him so special defensively?
Physical strength. He's got the profile there. He's really, really agile and quick, moving side to side. But the biggest thing is just his will and determination. He's guarding the best players every single night. His matchup difficulty in the NBA has got to be the highest, if not top 5, top 10. And so he takes a lot of punches. He's guarding. The Ingram 3 that he made at the end of the third is a great example. Just like Lou's always taking punches like that, where a really good player makes a really tough shot on him, and he never wavers, and that he's always ready on the next possession, always ready on the next game. He's some competitor on that end.
Also, what was Jalen's issue at the beginning, and were you worried that he could be out?
Yeah, they were checking him out. He got hit in the eye on the finish early in the game, which, he's fine. Obviously play the rest of the game. But I thought Kaysen going in and playing those minutes the way he did, he played like an 8-9 minute stretch when the place was live at the beginning and, the game was a little frantic. And I thought Kaysen's poise, in that stretch of the game, that was like quietly a very, very important, stretch of time for us, to kind of stabilize us. And, he's done that all year. I wasn't surprised, but I was impressed.
Yeah, Mark, seemed like Pelicans really tried to punch you guys over and over again, and you guys took those punches and responded really well. What did you just think about the way you guys just kept your poise in those moments?
Yeah, that's what it's going to be in a playoff series against a good team. They're going to swing away. We're going to swing away. You're going to land some punches. You're going to take some punches. And you just got to be a tough-minded team that plays all the way through the 48. They've done that in every game. They're a competitive team. They're a tough team. And, we're going to have to continue to withstand that, if we want to continue to have success.
And I think it was only 40 points in the paint tonight. This series, for the whole series, hasn't been what you guys normally get in the paint. Just what do you think about the way you guys are still able to keep your offense going even though you guys aren't getting to your normal bread and butter?
Yeah, they're crowding us there. They're putting us in a crowd, and they're forcing the ball out to the perimeter. I thought we made the right plays on a lot of those. I thought there was some that we missed, to be honest with you, in the paint where we're in there, and we forced a shot instead of spraying it to the perimeter and getting a clean 3. But generally, I liked our attacks tonight, especially in transition. I thought we were really fast.
Coach,
going back to Lou, the effort in the fourth quarter where he kind of dove on the floor literally for the loose ball led to a Josh run out. For a guy who's giving it all, defending a guy like Brandon Ingram throughout an entire night and still has gas left in the tank to make a certain play like that, just what does that say about him?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a competitive monster, plain and simple. He's never ceases to amaze us. He's been like this from the beginning, but he sustained it through, experience and success and, another contract. He just continues the same competitor that he was, when he was a G League player, in the first month as a professional.
And then just Shai, Jalen, Josh, those guys finished with 25 and 5, just very balanced overall effort. Just what did you see from them in their floor game overall tonight?
I just thought our aggression in our attacks were really good. We just kind of took what they gave us and played fast. We were on the gas tonight. I thought the stops helped with that. The rebounding helps with that. When we're blocking shots or getting steals, it can ignite the break. But I thought we just had a thrust in this game. That's improved with every game. Game one, I thought we missed opportunities. Game two, we were a little better tonight. I thought we were really fast. I think the cross-matching helps that to a degree, but we were fast tonight.
What did you think of the way the Thunder fans traveled tonight? Quite a few OKC and Let's Go Thunder.
And you guys drive or fly. Yeah. No, we're certainly appreciative of our fans that were here tonight. All our fans back home, the way they showed up in the first two games, I thought was really impressive. So, we're certainly grateful for them always.
We talked a little bit after game one about the lack of playoff experience. It seems like that has just not been a thing for you guys. What has allowed this team or allowed the guys to kind of just, play the way they have and kind of get through it so far?
I don't know. We just try to, clear the hurdle in front of us. That's how we've been, through time, not just this season. And the word I've used with the team is uncommon all year. I think they just have an uncommon maturity, uncommon poise, uncommon competitiveness and togetherness with that competitiveness. They're not just like siloed competitors. They compete together, and I think that gives you confidence, in stressful situations or on the road, when you're doing it as part of a unit, and I really think they feel like that.
Mark, from what you've seen this year, is there an art to stealing entry passes? Because, like, in this game, it's not just Shai anymore. Like, it's maybe Wiggins or Dort or whoever. Like,
to the post-ups?
Is there
entry passes to the post-ups, you mean? Yeah. We don't really over-teach it. It's just like you got to fight those catches one way or the other. And so depending on who you are, if it's Jay Will, use your physicality to move the guy off a spot. But those guys are smaller. Oftentimes we're playing small, and they got to be slippery, in terms of not letting direct feeds in. I think the ball pressure on the passer also has something to do with that. So we did get a couple of those tonight to jar the ball loose.
How much have you felt that's maybe mattered with some of the lineups they're playing?
Yeah, with the post-ups, yeah, for sure, especially with how small that we're willing to play at times. You can't be small and, inactive. You got to be small and really pesky and active, and I thought, we had really, really good juice on that end tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Thanks. Jay, Josh,